afternoon. Before I even stepped in front of you today, I'm sure you all have made an assumption about me. My name is Allison Randell. It's a pretty feminine name. I have a feminine appearance. And I'm sure you all assumed that I was a female, right? Well, luckily you're correct. I am a female, but sometimes you're not. And a lot of people do present feminine and perhaps identify as a male. But I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the feminine experience and why being a female in the United States sucks. So you guys stereotyped me. You put me into your box and you just assumed that I was a female. And this is on stereotypes that you guys have ingrained in your brain. And according to an article written by Alexandria Os, Antonio and Dimitri Archivos entitled Gender Portrayals in Advertising, Stereotypes, Inclusive Marketing, and Regulation, they explained that that stereotyping that you do takes one piece of my identity and turns it into all that I am. And that's something that we see in a lot of aspects. When we look at this picture, we all assume that pink means girl and blue means boy. That's something that's been ingrained in our brains since we were little kids. Whether that means that boys like trucks and girls like Barbies, it's something that we all know and just automatically assume when we talk about gender. But the last time I checked, colors don't have a gender, unless if you're talking about it in French, which has gendered articles. But even then, that doesn't really have anything to do with the actual color itself. These widely shared beliefs, according to Antonio and Archivos, help to create the power dynamic between men and women, which typically portrays women as less than, as subordinate to men. And that's something that we see in more than just colors and these basic stereotypes. There's a lot about the female experience that a lot of people aren't aware of. And particularly men don't really recognize that there's a lot of stuff that we go through on a daily basis that we have to put up with. But you don't recognize it because you're not experiencing it every day. Now, I'm someone that lives it every day, so of course I know the experience. But I want to share with you some of the things that I've recognized throughout my life. One of the things you might not think about in this topic is jeans. That's right, jeans. You might not think that jeans could be sexist, but they are. In an article entitled The Bewildering and Sexist History of Women's Pockets, they explained a little bit about the history behind jeans and exactly why they are sexist. So typically, we all think of pockets as sewn into clothing, right? Well, initially they weren't. They were little pouches that you wore underneath your clothes. And this was great for women because they had big poofy skirts and it wasn't a big deal. Well, in the 17th century, they decided to start sewing those into clothing themselves to make it a little bit easier and less clothing to lose. Well, it was easier for women to just keep on with the pockets, so they did. And then men went off to war, and women had to start working in factories. And when we did that, we couldn't wear our big poofy skirts to the factory. I work in a factory, I guarantee you it would not go over well. So we started wearing pants. And when the men came back from war, they decided, you know what? You don't look sexy enough for me. Start wearing skinnier jeans. And that doesn't leave a lot of room for pockets. These jeans I'm wearing right now are skinny jeans and I barely can fit my hand in them. And so that led to the fashion bag industry, something that men don't use. I mean, last time I checked, no one in here has a Coach purse that isn't a female. So it's something that a lot of people don't think about, but it's a big part of our lives, especially for women who experience it on a daily basis. Now, the pink tax is another aspect of the feminine experience that a lot of people don't know about or just aren't aware of. It's the ideology that marketed products targeting women are costing more than those products that are targeting men. And this idea isn't new. It's something that has been around for decades, but it wasn't talked about until Ellen DeGeneres talked about it on her talk show. And the following is a quick clip that shows that snippet.
Yeah, she related.
All the serums out there, this is the #1 in the world.
Revitalift Hyaluronic Acid Serum from L'Oreal. It seriously hydrates to physically replump skin and reduces wrinkles. Effective for all skin tones. Revitalift Hyaluronic Acid Serum from L'Oreal Paris.
So, on my show, what I like to do is I like to promote kindness and equal rights, and I don't like labels, and I don't see color. I'm like a Cocker Spaniel in that way. And I don't like pointing out differences between people, especially men and women, and I thought that women, we've made a lot of progress towards equality, and we're allowed to vote, and I think since 1982 now, and we can wear pants, we can drive at night, all those things have happened. And then I saw something that makes me think we still have a little bit of ways to go. It's a new product from Bic, the pen company, and they have a new line of pens called Bic for Her. And this is totally real. They're pens just for ladies. I know what you're thinking, it's about damn time. Where have our pens been? Can you believe this? We've been using man pens all these years. Yeah. And they come in both lady colors, pink and purple. And they're just like regular pens, except they're pink, so they cost twice as much. That is absolutely true as well. The worst part is they don't come with any instructions. So like, how do they expect us to learn how to write with them, you know? I was reading the back of the pack. Well, I had a man read the back of the package to me. And it said it's designed to fit a woman's hand. This is all true. I'm not making any of this up. Designed to fit a woman's hand. What does that mean? Like, so when we're taking down dictation from our bosses, we'll feel comfortable and we'll forget we're not getting paid as much? I don't know. I mean, just think over the last 20 years, companies have spent millions of dollars making pills that grow men's hair and fix men's sex lives, and now ladies have a pen.
So, as you can tell from that, that is something that is extremely ingrained into women's lives. And so I wanted to take a look at some other products that we all have to buy, deodorant and other personal care products. And these products, two different companies, yeah, I'll admit, but you've got Old Spice over here, pretty standard deodorant for men. It costs $4.99. You get 3.25 ounces, which comes out to about $1.54 per ounce. Whereas your Dove women's deodorant, it costs $6.12. You only get 2.6 ounces, which comes out to $2.35 per ounce. What? Are you kidding me? Seriously. This is completely real. I got all of this information from the direct retailers' websites. And in an article by CBC News, they explained that in a study where they sampled products from Walmart, Target, and other American brands, although the study was done in Canada, they found that women were given less product for the same product, and they're paying more. And so, even though it was done in Canada, this is something that's at companies that we still use today in America. So let's take another look at another example. We've got two razors here. We've got same brand, same amount per packaging. They both have 3 razor blades in each, but the only difference here is that one is called the Mach 5, one is called the Venus Sensitive, one's blue, and one's pink. The Mach 5 is $6.99 for the 3 count, which is $2.33 a piece. The Venus Sensitives are $7.27 for the same amount, which comes out to about $2.42 a piece, which is a 10-cent difference, which might not sound like a lot, but when you add it up over time, that could lead to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that women are paying additionally for their products for their entire lives. And considering the fact that there is still a wage gap in this country, we can't ignore that we're adding costs to these products. And according to CBC News, when they did their study, women in Canada are paying a pink tax premium of more than 40% over what men pay for their products. Now personally, I choose to use men's deodorant and razors because no one really knows. Like, it doesn't matter. No one's gonna be able to tell. So, why? Why are we doing this? And what's the difference? Well, to be quite honest with you, there's only one company that I've been able to find that does it right. Dove. They've got two products here, same amount, they each have 1/4 moisturizing cream in them, basically the same product. The only thing different about them is the packaging and the stamp that's on the soap, as well as perhaps the shape of the soap. But you get the same amount and they cost the same. The only thing different is that they changed their marketing towards these products. And my question to you is, why are we doing this? Why does it matter that a women's product is marketed as smooth, sensitive, sultry, and then you've got a men's product that's rugged, dark, handsome? What's the difference? It's the same product. But there is one aspect of the feminine experience that men don't have to deal with: periods. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about periods? Well, first of all, it's part of the feminine experience here in the United States, but there's an economic side to this as well. According to an article entitled "The Fight for Menstrual Equality is Just Beginning," in Wisconsin, menstrual products are deemed as non-essential goods and are taxed up to 5%, implying that my period and the products I need to maintain it is unnecessary and it's a luxury. Do you guys think that your period's a luxury? Yeah, no, didn't think so. But because they're taxing people like this, women who are already struggling to purchase their necessities, whether it be food or other things, they have to pay this additional tax for normal functions that our bodies do. And they're not a pleasant experience to begin with, so why are we being forced to pay for them? What's even more staggering is that according to Claire Transtreger in her article Period Piece, Viagra is free of sales tax in Georgia, Ohio, and Colorado. And tampons and sanitary pads are not. Now I'll admit it's not the best comparison because Viagra is a drug and period products aren't. And you could easily argue that birth control is free, so it shouldn't matter if Viagra is free of sale tax because you still have to pay for the product. But at the same token, this is an essential item for us. We don't get to avoid it. I mean, I guess we could go around free bleeding, but I don't think anyone wants to see that. Just saying. So, I understand that it's a little uncomfortable to recognize that there is inequality in this country, economically speaking, for women, but we have to recognize it. We have to do better as a country because this is not okay. We're being paid less and we're being exploited for cost. We shouldn't have to pay more for the same experience. And with that, I'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Yes, ma'am.
I unfortunately had to leave the room during part of the presentation.
You're fine.
Did you bring up the fact that, like, also there are certain products that, like, women are expected to do certain things like makeup?
I did not, but it is definitely something that I should have, because it is also part of this assumption. I wanted to focus more on the fact that there are things that we all are expected to buy that shouldn't be gendered. We don't need to bring gender into the equation at all. And there are certain aspects like makeup that I'm currently wearing that men don't even think about. So yes, I do admit that that is also part of the experience, but it's not the main focus that I wanted to touch on today. Anything else? Yeah.
It's not really a question, but I didn't even know there were pens out for women out there.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought it was crazy.
it's only really when a product like that comes up, and I think Claire had mentioned to me another day that there are actually shoes now that are designed like specifically for the shape of women's feet. And to me, I'm like, okay, but isn't everyone's foot different? So it's only like products like that, like a pen, that we're like, are you serious? Do you really need to bring gender into that? They're pens. So it's definitely interesting, and a lot of people don't think about it. Yes.
I guess what's the solution? Because at the end of the day, a lot of these things are done for marketing purposes because unfortunately they work.
Mm-hmm.
Like selling soaps that are basically the same and marketing one towards men and one towards women, it's a benefit to the company itself.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think the major solution overall would be to start closing that wage gap. So that way, if this still is gonna happen, the difference in pricing is still gonna happen. But at the end of the day, if we can close that gender wage gap, it'll allow women to be able to afford this stuff. And we should be offering period products for free, if you ask me. That's something that, I mean, all women have to deal with. So why can't we have that for free? That's my question. It's 2 things, and we get it once a month. It's not pleasant. Anything else? Yes.
Have you experienced infants having either pink rooms or blue rooms in terms of people you know?
Oh, everyone I know. My nephew just turned 1, and his entire life is covered in blue and trucks, and he's not exposed to dolls at all. And I think if we give children the opportunity to experience things from other genders, we'll start to see that shift in our perspective happen over time. Because if you're exposed to it as a child, you're going to continue to feel it throughout your life. If we start raising children in a more gender neutral aspect, we'll start seeing more gender neutral products over the years, and that'll continue to grow with them too.
Anything else? Good deal.